please, for the love of God, if you're Amanda Serrano, please never fight Katie Taylor ever again. I don't want to see it for reasons I will break down in this video. Tremendous weekend of fights. I covered all. Tyson, Paul, a little bit of John Jones, and the controversy that is indeed Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. This is your boy JG. This is the Punch Report. Let's just get right into it. Robbery. I'm screaming robbery. You heard what I said, and I'm not breaking news. The internet is a buzz. People are upset. Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. YouTube. Friday night, there was an event on the undercard, the co-main event, Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano Part 2. The first fight ended in controversy. If you guys have not seen that, go ahead and check it out. I want to just skip all the nonsense and just get right into the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation is this. Amanda Serrano got absolutely robbed. One of the craziest robberies in boxing I've seen recently. And it's bordering on it. No, it's not bordering on anything. It's flat inexplicable how they do Amanda Serrano. And that's why I said at the top of this video, I said, I don't want to, shout out to Katie Taylor. Very gracious, very professional, showed up, fought hard, put on a tremendous show for the fans. Quite honestly, before the fight started, excuse me, not before this fight, before the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight started, I even said this is the main event. And I was happy and definitely very proud of Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor putting themselves in a position to really be the real-life true main event of this boxing card. And I'll get into why Paul and Mike Tyson, that was just whatever. But getting back to Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, here's what I want to say. Oftentimes you have differing opinions when fights are really close. They talk about things like efficiency and moments and, total punch count and things of that nature. And this is one of those situations, scenarios. This was a compelling fight, a good fight. But in my mind, it was fairly easy to score. I pretty much gave almost every single round to Amanda Serrano. And some might say, well, that's JG, that's absolutely wild. That's crazy. It's really not that crazy. I'm not taking anything away from Katie Taylor because she fought really well. She landed some tough shots on Serrano that she had to weather. But you look at things like the headbutting. You see the cut there over the right eye of Serrano. I was scared twice during the course of this bout that they were just going to pull the plug on it because her shit was just hanging, flopping open. It was disgusting. Shout out to Amanda Serrano. And then they showed the moment that the cut was caused. It was indeed by a headbutt. It's rumored and been, shown that Katie Taylor has an issue with leading with the head, lacking kind of a lead hand and just kind of charging in, damaging and discouraging opposition and then landing combination punches. She doesn't have crazy power, but a power enough to where you don't want her beating on you, that being Katie Taylor. But the reality of the situation is this. I pulled up the CompuBox numbers, and people sometimes hate on CompuBox. But here's what I'm going to say. It was a 10-round bout. There was only a single round where Katie Taylor outlanded Amanda Serrano, and I believe that was, it looks like that was the 6th round. And I saw some guy on the World Wide Webs, the WWW, and he stated, the 10th and final round is what really sealed this fight for Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. And it's head scratching because I have the numbers pulled up right here. CompuBox, these are total punch stats for the 10th round. In this round alone, Amanda Serrano threw 127 punches, landing 73. Katie Taylor threw 90 punches, landing 39. Now, if you don't want to do math, I got you. That's a land percentage for Katie Taylor of 43% and a land percentage for Serrano of 57% for total punches landed in the 10th round. You win fights in moments. She won the fight. She won that round. I don't want to hear any argument about, oh, Katie Taylor poured it on late, because she didn't. She was less efficient, less busy, and took way more damage. Overall, I'm sure you guys have seen these numbers before, but Amanda Serrano landed 107 more total punches than Katie Taylor. And I wanted to go back and look because bouts are scored round by round. If you have a crazy round at the end, but you've lost or all the other rounds were close, then I get it. But there was no round where Amanda Serrano was less busy or less efficient. Because sometimes what you see is with a busier fighter, they're way less efficient. She was more efficient than Katie Taylor, busier than Katie Taylor. She put out more output. She was the convincing winner, in my opinion, of this bout. And quite honestly, the controversy today, no shade to Katie Taylor and much love for Amanda Serrano. Serrano, excuse me, is the reason why we even discussed this card, because as I transition now to the main event, shout out to both those combatants, Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano. Amanda, you got robbed. I know you know. Your team knows. Katie Taylor, is not a knock on you. You got to quit headbutting bitches in the face. That's a bit too much. Hell of a fighter. And I know you don't score the bout, so it's not a real knock against you. But at the end of the day, Amanda Serrano was 2-0 against Katie Taylor. I mean, Delphine Poursoons, when she fought Katie Taylor, got robbed in the first fight. Shout out to Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor, she came back in the second fight against Delphine Poursoons and got that done. But in this bout, Amanda Serrano is my clear winner, and I think is the rightful winner. Moving on to the main event, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. Now, before I get into this bout, I got several phone calls over the course of the week, text messages, a couple cats hit me up on the channel. Hey, JG, you watching the fight? I'm absolutely not watching this. Not on purpose. Definitely not on purpose. But the thing that ends up happening is, like, you watch Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, then you leave it on the Netflix, and then it pops up. They showed me, both Mike Tyson and Jake Paul showed me why no one should ever go out of their way to watch stuff like this. And why, by and large, I don't watch spectacle bouts. Mike Tyson, he almost 60. Last year he was walking with a cane, and he got an ulcer or something like that. Jake Paul just blew the hell up. He looked crazy and sweaty for no reason and just fought looking awful. Listen, if Jake Paul as a young man wants to continue his career as a pseudo-professional boxer, I think he should do that. But at some point in time, we got to start seeing some real fights. Now, here's the other side of the coin. I know guys who are going to be coming off the couch, retired MMA guys who want to make $5 to $10 million to get slaughtered by Jake Paul. So you're probably going to keep seeing this stuff. But what I'm telling you right now is it's not anything I'll ever promote. Seeing Mike Tyson out there with his legs and op was not cool. Taking damage, he landed a couple shots, but it wasn't anything worth noting. I'm glad that if you just had Netflix, then you got to watch that. But to do true pay-per-view would have been absolutely wild. And I think there was a version of that did exist. Excuse me if I'm wrong, or correct me in the comments section. But by and large, there's a reason why we don't watch these. Well, I don't watch these fights. I don't cover them. You're never going to see a breakdown. JG goes into the keys to victory for Mike Tyson, Paul. No, it'll never happen. Dudes coming off the couch getting beat up. It's just not going to happen. But they went out there. They did the best they could. I see Mike Coppinger for ESPN talking about they made a show of it. It was an absolute disaster. Let's not play around. It's an insult to the sport of boxing, respectfully. Shout out to Paul. Shout out to Tyson. He had his time in the sun. But you got women, warriors like Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor, carry this card. They make it what's great. And for honorable mention, shout out to Mario Barrios. Had no idea he was on this card. I did check out his fight. I don't know the dude he fought. He dropped him a bunch of times early, got rocked late, had to weather the storm, went on to win a decision. That was a championship bout at welterweight right now. He's probably the most vulnerable champion between himself, that being Barrios, Ennis, Brian Norman Jr., and Amontes Stanionis. He looked very vulnerable. So, shout out to him. He got it done. Still doing his thing. Still a champion since he moved up to welterweight. After the loss to Tank Davis, then fought Keith Thurman, and then went on to have success. He beat my man with no eyebrows. What's his name? Yordenis Ugas. And he did his thing. But overall, mostly interesting night of fights. Shout out to, like I said before, Amanda Serrano. You got that dub, even though they didn't award it to you. Shout out to Katie Taylor. Definitely a warrior. You got to stop headbutting people in the face. That's crazy. And shout out to the officials. Stay robbing people. I do not want to see Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano again, because they've made it abundantly clear. The officials and boxing at large, in my opinion, favor Katie Taylor for whatever reason or another. Hint, hint, wink, wink. But you're pretty much telling Amanda that she has to brutally knock her out of the ring and debilitate her in order to get the nod. And I just don't think that's fair. And I don't even like the word fair, but it's definitely a disservice to boxing and a disservice to Amanda Serrano. Mike Tyson, please don't fight anybody else. Jake Paul, you got to do something. Fight your brother. Fight Logan. Call it good. That'll do crazy numbers. You guys make 40, 50 mil and beat each other up and do your thing. Or fight a real guy. I mean, I saw Clarissa Shields talking about the dudes in boxing are kind of looking funny style, because why would you not just get in there and cook this dude when he's calling out the Canelos of the world? And I understand why you wouldn't if you're Canelo, but I think there's some decent weight to that argument. But regardless of that, shout out to the combatants on the card. Shout out to Barrios, like I mentioned before, Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. And before I go and wrap this video, shout out to the GOAT, or one of the GOATs. That's another conversation for another day. John Jones retired Stipe Miocic last night with a devastating spinning back kick. I mean, he wasn't even anchored when he landed that and just destroyed his insides. I think Stipe had no business being in there. That was a long layoff. And he came back against a John Jones who was a better version of himself at heavyweight, and he paid a dear price for it and got bodied. Shout out to his retirement, though. He said, yeah, I'm done. I'm cool. No crying. No, like, you know, where's my wife in the crowd? He's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm going to get this check and I'm out of here. But this is your boy, JG. If you made it this far, you definitely real one. Please be so kind as to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon to be notified of when all the videos drop, and we out.